So,
Welcome to the 17th episode of our show, Talk to Coach in association with India Coaching Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, Namaste. This is your host, Khushboo Sharma, welcomes you on a forum this afternoon. We truly appreciate your presence and time as always. As I say, we come together with a sheer purpose of getting an inch more closer to coaching and its business. And I'm very happy to be able to discover that we are able to add value to your lives and your thought process. And today, yet again, we are together on this forum exclusively there for you, sharing our wisdom with you and making the difference. Well, no matter your position in life, opportunity for leadership abounds. And leadership qualities aren't really bestowed on us the moment that we are knitted with a fancy job title, but they must be very, however, very carefully developed and tended. Whether we talk about people who are at work or maybe at school or in any community, we can cultivate leadership qualities that will make an impact on how we all lead our lives. And today, we shall dive in for a conversation on leadership at the infant stage in any career. And we have our own, very own leader who has been in leadership roles for over decades and has coached many existing leaders and leaders in the making. I would like to welcome Dr. Dhirendra Gautam to our 17th episode. Welcome, Dr. D. How are you doing?
thank you and namaskar to our viewers who are watching live us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube channels. We are doing great, Khushboo, and today's topic, what you talk about the leadership is really great and very relevant. Of course, we will be talking on that, but just
Yes.
like to share the kind of uh, remarks and the questions we are getting from our viewers. Uh, it shows that they are able to relate somewhere and able to get some kind of benefits with our discussion. What we are, whatever we are trying to convey through our talk show and able to reach to the people. So it's
True.
going great, and we are able to uh, getting inch closer, like as you says every day, that key in our purpose of empowering and transforming people.
See. Absolutely, Dr. D. I am with you on that completely. So, today's discussion is on the infant stage of leadership in our career. So, leadership does not really equate dictatorship, Dr. D. Most of the times, it's seen that people fall to believe that leadership means that your voice overshadows all. My today's question comes from the thought process where the budding leaders wants to know probably that what leadership is, and the existing leaders probably need to know what it is not. What would you like to say?
Great. I think very important question. Uh, the and it is leadership is a widely talked about topics in corporate, and
Yes.
everybody, like who are leader or who wants to become leader, they talk on leadership.
Hmm.
And of course it's supposed to be knowing and talking about the leadership,
Hmm.
but the a smaller part, or say that the unclear part, which I feel about the leadership, it is very limited with the definitions taught to the people in their management education and schools and colleges, business schools, and people are able to bring that definition when they are implementing their leadership capability on a live role of a leader, and there it starts creating problem. So of course, to understand the definition about the various leadership is okay to get it from the books and the management institutes or business schools, but when it comes to the leadership, leadership is very much intrinsic capability of a human being.
Ji.
So you have to be a leader at core of your being a human,
Ji.
and this capability sits at that level. There are situations which can be good, there are situations which can be bad, and there can be situations which can be a normal situation.
Normal situation.
That gives you the opportunity to prove your leadership in all three situations. So if you are a leader at core of your own being, normal situations, good situations, you are always a leader. But
Yeah.
in a adverse situation is the taste where you have the capability or you have the opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
show the people or show your organization that how true leader you are.
Yeah.
Leadership is not about doing something or becoming something or doing some extraordinary. There are different definition of leadership which I will name few of them, but again I'm saying that leadership is all about your own being. And when I say your own being, the one word which very much relates to me is the responsibility.
Okay.
Leadership is all about being responsible to your oneself. If you are responsible for your oneself, you can be responsible for everything and everybody. On the other hand, the people who comes from the school and bookish psychology,
Mm-hmm.
they believe that leadership is all about being responsible for bigger organization, being at a CXO level role, empowering the people, transforming the people, doing big thing, growing the revenue, growing the top line, bottom line. These are all good. But as a human being, you can only be responsible to your oneself. No other human being can be responsible for any other human being. But the beauty of being responsible as a leader or as a human being is that once you become responsible to your oneself,
Mm-hmm.
automatically all the environment around you, whether you are a leader in the company, then your company, your people, your staff, your leaders,
Yeah.
everything starts becoming responsible for themselves. So once you are responsible for your leadership, then all the people in your organization, your family, your society start becoming responsible. And that is the word, it is called being a leader, leading with example.
Yes.
Here also, when we say leading with example, people try to find out the example of being a leader. It is again they are going to find out the example. Okay, I will do this thing, then I will create an example. If I will bring this policy, I will create an example. If I will implement this system, I will create an example. No, you don't require to bring an example. You have to be the example. So your leadership, being irresponsible, you become the example. And when you become example as a leader, it is called leading with an example.
Mm.
And when you lead with being a leader as an example, people start appreciating your leadership capability, the person who leads with. It is your being the leader, being the example. You cannot create example. When you try to create example, it will be always a copy of somebody else.
True.
So how you can be called a leader? You can be always be a follower if you are copying somebody. Yes, there are a lot of people's, lot of things which needs to be replicated. Everything you
Right.
cannot
Right.
invent.
Right.
As far process is concerned, technology is concerned, system is concerned, education system is concerned. Yes, you have to adopt the best principles and policy and best practices, especially in the corporate environment. We always say. But when we talk about the leadership is all about being responsible as a leader, being an example of a leader. And when you are in these two, you are the example, you are leading with the example. When you become responsible, you create the responsibility for the others. And if these two things happens,
Mm-hmm.
people start seeing a leader inside you or a leadership inside you. And
Right.
then people probably start following you also as a leader. I don't believe that he as a leader you should start creating followers. No. When you lead with an example, when you become an example,
True.
your being in leadership, a responsible leader, resonates those kind of impact in the organization and people you are leading, and then people will start respecting you as a leader who is a leader in all situations and circumstances. And that's why I would like to say all the lead peoples, whether it is young youth, startups, budding peoples, or the experienced people, it's okay to read the books, it's okay to follow the management concept, but try to become a responsible leader, and you can only be responsible to yourself. Try to be the example, and you can only be the example of your oneself. You cannot create any other example with other people. It will be always a borrowed and a different thing. Khushboo, few more points I would like to add it here.
Please,
There are
please.
many kinds of leadership which has been discussed.
Hmm.
People talk
Yes.
about situational leader, people talk about democratic leader, people talk
Right.
about charismatic leader, people talk about transformational leader, people talk about agile leader, people talk about so many leadership, autocratic leader, bureaucratic leader. These are all
Right.
the quality, capability of a different kind of leaders, which has been explained in books to make a curriculum on leadership. If they will not create so much kind of leadership capability, who is going to read the leadership?
Right.
But when you club all, whether it is autocratic, bureaucratic, transformative, democratic, agile, transformational leader, it all ends about a person who is leading.
Right.
And a leader cannot adopt different leadership style in a different situation.
True.
Rather, the different situation, the leader manifest their leadership capability, and people perceive as transformational leader, democratic leader, situational leader, or charismatic leader, whatever it is called.
Right.
So, when you are operating from your oneself being a leader, and when you are into deep trouble, the situations are not good in the corporate, and if you are able to take out the organization from the wrong days, then you are
Mm-hmm.
called a charismatic leader. There is no any principle or philosophy available. You can adopt that and you can bring a charismatic leader. Or when an organization is into a deep trouble, you can hire a charismatic leader from the market. No. At the same time, when there is an era of transformation, lot of digitization, lot of automation, lot of transformation is happening in the technology situation, the way of doing the business.
Yeah.
How you are able to adopt those technology, new things, is all going to tell you how transformative leader you are.
Mm. Right.
People feel sometimes being a bureaucratic leader is bad, being an autocratic leader is bad, and a democratic leader
Yeah.
is good. There is nothing good and there is nothing bad. It is the situation
Good night.
determines
Right.
what kind of capability you should be able to pursue. And as a leader, once you are a true leader, you are automatically going to play the role, and that role becomes, see, for an actor, the role is role. For the viewers, it is three different role. suppose there is a hero who is playing five roles in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Actor is always the one actor. Amitabh Bachchan in all five acting role. But for the viewers who is watching the movie,
Right.
he says that there is a five role of Amitabh Bachchan. But for Amitabh Bachchan, in all role there is a Amitabh Bachchan.
Right.
So in all role, he is the only one person. Similarly, for a leader, in any role he or she needs to be playing, they are going to be the same leader. So you have to be a leader. You have to become a Amitabh Bachchan in all roles. For the people who is watching your leadership capability, they will see different role of Amitabh Bachchan. So that is about the leadership. It is not about different kind of role. I see
True.
people, I have been in corporate for a long time,
Yeah.
and I have seen people, they are trying this methodology, they are trying that methodology, they are trying do this thing, transform their leadership capability. Transforming the leadership capability is always good because the the definition of transformation is all about transforming your own self. If you
True.
are ready to transform your oneself, which is always good, but creating the different kind of skills by adopting the principles of leadership, it is not
Right.
going to work it out. It is going to make you a joker.
Yeah.
So better to be at a leader at core of your own being. And when you
Right.
play the role in a different situations and circumstances, and being
Mm-hmm.
a leader and being a capable leader in the organization, whether it is a smaller organization or a bigger organization, you have to play the role in a different situation. You have to manage people, you have to manage processes, you have to manage system, you have to manage the finance, you have to manage the business, you have to finance, help the marketing. All the
Yeah.
role you have to play, and each and every role you have to guide the people. So
Right.
already you have the opportunity to practice those roles. Somewhere you have to become situational, somewhere we have to become transformational, somewhere you have to
Mm.
become democratic, somewhere you have to be charismatic, somewhere you have to become agile leader to take faster and correct decision on time. So I would like to conclude here only, like, I can talk on leadership for a long time, but I think
Absolutely.
this is the core about the leadership. People should able to see that
Mm.
how it is their own intrinsic. Try to transform to discover your leadership.
Mm.
Leadership is not available in books, and
Right.
leadership doesn't require any title.
True.
It is not only that if you are a CXO or CEO in organization, you are a
Yeah.
leader. A person working at the shop floor
Very
or
true.
a lower floor in the organization, he can
Right.
also have or she can also have the leadership capability. So leadership is not associated with the title of the person, position or profile of the person, education and qualification of the person. Leadership is over your own being. How you are as a human being, you are a transformed person. And when you play the role of a leader in a respective capability, wherever you are, people see you as a leader. You
Yeah.
cannot declare yourself as a leader. See, in the
Right.
corporate, there are positions where they
Mhm.
declare you as a leader. But how long?
Right. For
Till
how
you are
long?
working in a corporate, but when you are not working, then who is going to
Then
recognize you
what?
as a leader?
True.
So you cannot declare yourself as a leader. It is the people who make you leader. And when you become an example by your
Right.
professionalism, by your behavior, by your own being, it automatically manifests. And people in your circle, in your surrounding, in your team, in your organization are going to
Mm-hmm.
respect you as a leader. So that is, I would like to say about the leadership. It's going on. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. D, for sharing that with our viewers. I think that was absolutely very, very insightful. Thank you very much. I mean, the simplicity that you come up with, the simplicity that you give answers with, and you explain, it itself speaks just so much. So thank you so much for that clarity. Well, of course, I would just with your if you allow, I would like to take the spillover in the next episode also. So we would like to have a couple of more things to be discussed, different segments of leadership in the coming episodes also. But for now, moving on to the next question, Dr. D. One tiny little thing, if you could just in short explain this also, or maybe if you could share your thought process on that. So people say that leaders should take risk, or leaders take risk, be assertive, and also know the difference from being aggressive. So what do you think on this? Does this needs to be rephrased looking at the current times, Dr. D?
See, when you say about taking risk, and I say about it is the business, or it is in life, or it is in career, or it is in social life.
Ji.
It is the situation or the organization you are managing as a leader that requires a different kind of decision. And that can be a riskful decision or a risk-free decision. And we know all business is about all taking calculated risk. Without risk, there is no reward. And in business, typically it happens. So again, when you talk about the taking the risk capability of a leader, it has nothing to do with the leadership. It is the situation of the business and organization demands that. Now you have to play the role whether you are able to manage that risk or a leader or not. As a leader, taking the decision is a risky or not risky? No, this is not a question. If an organization requires to take the decision which is risky, you cannot avoid it, you have to take it. The success and failure of the leader is going to come whether you are able to manage the risk or not. If company requires a big investment decision to diversify somewhere, suppose your competitor, there is a virgin market somewhere it is opening, some new country, some new place, and your one competitor is going to start their business operation there, and they are going to double their revenue by starting their business that, and that you know that after doubling their business they are going to pump the money against you to wash it out. So as a competitor, you have to take a decision to go and operate and start up in the same market and counter it. So do you have any option? No.
No, absolutely not.
No option. So it does. The question is not that it is the leader who has to take the risk, or leader has not to be take the risk, or it is the risk taking capability of the leader. People everything read in the book and they try to implement on the person. That is the very wrong thing. It happens. The question is that yes, in this example, you have to go and start your operation in that particular market. There is no other option. That risk you have to take it. Otherwise, you are going to be out of this market. Now, the leadership capability comes whether you have the capability to go in this new market and manage the risk of starting it up, taking to the next level, growing it up, competing with, and going ahead of your competition. That is, managing the risk is the capability of the leader.
Right.
Risk taking, no. It is the situation who decide whether you have to take the risk or not. You see, the coming to a political leadership, I will tell you, there are some political party which is very much flourishing. There are some old party which is going shrinking down. There are a number of MLAs and MPs are reducing. They are in threat of losing their control over. So situation and circumstances require that they have to be more aggressive. If they will not be aggressive, one day they will lose everything. But it is the question of the leader, whether the leader is capable of handling that kind of aggression.
Right, right.
It happens with the people. You are the leader of your own life.
Sorry.
You are the leader of your own career. I would like to just slightly explain the people, because a lot of listener our they are into job, they are of course business leader, and
Yes.
they have to manage their career and life also.
Right. Right.
And being a
Absolutely.
coach, we need to be talking that aspects. So people feel like, I will tell you very typical example. Lot of people, they are the CXO level guy. Once
Hmm.
they lose their job by any reason, either they resign or they're out of the business, they become
Ji.
a so inferior people and so weak people you cannot imagine. जैसा लगता है कि उनका सब कुछ लुट गया, they are no more a leader. Then how you can say that you are a leader in that organization by moving from that organization and you are unemployed for a couple of weeks, a month? And it is not like that they are not going to become a leader in another organization. Yes, they are
Right.
going to become a leader in another organization. So what
True.
happened in between you, where you are the leader, where is your leadership capability? If you are not a leader in your life and career,
Yeah.
then you cannot
True.
be a leader anywhere in the organization. So you have to be a leader of your own life. You have to be a leader of your own career. And then you can be a leader in the organization where you are going to get the position and you are going to get the lead. So in a life, you have to take
Ji.
the situations and risk.
Right.
Unless you take different kind of risk in your life, you are not
Yeah.
going to
Not
get
going to.
rewards.
Ji.
Similarly, in your career also, you have to take the risk and rewards.
True.
So it is not your own capability, it is the situation who it requires taking this risk. Suppose you are working in an organization for 5 to 7 years and you are not able to grow in this organization and you are performing at the best of your level and that confidence you have. So you don't have any other option to leave the organization and try for some other organization.
True.
So that risk, so you have to take it.
To take it.
And
Right.
it is not like that ki, like, you need to learn how to take the risk. No, you have the capability to manage that risk, that ki after either being in job you are able to find out another leadership role, or even after leaving the job you have the opportunity to get the role of a leader. So that is the capability of you to manage your career from one leadership role to another leadership role.
Ji.
So you have to be first a leader. That's why I'm saying that leadership is all about being a leader of your oneself. You are the leader of your own life. If you are not able to manage your life properly, and when we talk about, I think you can have another session on this, having the leadership of oneself. So see, and I see many people, like, when I was working in my days of Pepsi, Unilever, and those days, and Superbank,
Mm-hmm.
I was having very senior people in the CXO level role with me. They were in a good leadership position. They were having very senior role. They were earning a lot of money, but they were not leader in their life. What is the meaning of being a leader in your life? You have to be healthy. You have to be sound. You have to be intelligent. You have to be proactive. You have to be adaptable. You have to be transformative. You have to be make yourself fulfilled, satisfied, happy, responsible, and blissful. If you are not happy, satisfied, and fulfilled in your life, what kind of leadership example you are going to create in the
Going to set.
corporate? A unsatisfied, unfulfilled person in life gets a position in a company as a leader or a society as a leader,
Ji.
the corporate politics starts and the corruption starts from there. And everybody, we know that why corporate politics are such a vast discussed subject matter in corporate. So you have to be a leader in your life first. Second, you have to be a leader in your career first, second. And third, you can be a leader in the organization you are leading and managing it. You
You well
just
said.
cannot be a leader managing the organization and you are a follower in your life or in your relationship or in your career. So you have to be master of your own life. You are a master of your own life, then you don't require even any title or any certificate or any position or profile. Wherever you are, you will be able to
You are right.
empower people, transform people. And when you empower and transform people, when you add value to the life of the people, when you resolve the challenges of the people, people are going to respect you as a leader.
True.
And that is
Very
the
true.
true leadership. That is the true leadership, Khushboo. I would like to say it.
Yeah,
People should be
that's
able to
absolutely
do.
very, very true. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. In fact, there are obviously many thoughts on this matter, and it's too broad to offer a one size fit all answer. But thank you so much, Dr. D, for explaining this to us in detail. I mean, it was really, I think it was this conversation today on leadership or budding leadership, or I can say the infant stage of leadership has been really very insightful. I think at this point in time, I would just say that for the budding leaders, I would just say that with a growing need for quality leadership talent, it is becoming, I believe, more necessary to properly and timely develop your talent within. And I think it has been anyways very beautifully explained by Dr. D. I believe to the ones who are already leaders, it is always important that we recognize our team members with budding leadership qualities in order to develop them in the right direction for growing success also within our organization. And as a leader, your responsibility to develop is made easier when you can identify obvious potential within your teams. Well, a bridge is only as strong as the foundation that supports it. So go all and out picking up your A players. Do realize that, though, that the nuts and the bolts of a bridge will need to be replaced and maintained more frequently. So our job is that, and let's dive into the job right away. And on that note, this brings us to the end of our episode today. Thank you, Dr. D, for your presence here today, and we
Thanks.
had a great time listening to you. I think, as always. And many thanks to all those who joined in also for today's episode. Thanks for being there. In fact, as we all are aligned to our ongoing event, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, in order to celebrate our 75th year of freedom, I am certain that we will flag our pride on the 15th of August. Wishing you all a very, very happy Independence Day, and let's be independent in our own thought process and make coaching as our lifestyle. Jai Hind. It's time to say bye. Stay tuned for the next episode on next Saturday.
Thank
Namaste.
you. Thank you. Namaste. Jai Hind.